Hey everybody, I'm so excited to share with you this new book that just came out, The Disintegration Loops, just in time for National Poetry Month. And it's got a great cover by Mike Balzano and some great blurbs on the back from two of my favorite poets, Julie Kane and Adrian Matejka, poet laureates of Louisiana and Indiana, respectively. The book is dedicated to my lovely wife, Joanna, my awesome daughter, Issa, and to a wonderful chicken named Chunker. Now, this is Chunker. Say hi. This is Chunker, and the book is dedicated, 1/3 of the book is dedicated to her. So, thank you very much. So I thought I would just, read the title poem, which is an 8-section poem, and the history of the poem kind of bears repeating. There's a composer named William Basinski, and he recorded a series of audio tapes in the 1980s, and they were badly stored. And when he went to digitize them, like 20 years later, he found that the tapes began to flake. And so in an inspired move, he actually looped them and had them go around and around, so the 10-second bits of music kept flaking, and silence invades them from the inside. And so by the final loop, the listener hears not the soaring music of the beginning, but an homage to loss and stillness. So the poem itself takes large leaps from there. There's a younger composer and an older composer writing letters to each other, 8 letters in all, and that has nothing to do with the actual circumstances of the music or Basinski himself. So 8 poems, back and forth, starting with the younger composer. Here we go, The Disintegration Loops. When I lit the furnace in my cellar last night, I stepped into the cone of its glow as it spilled up the stairs, kindling the dark map of slime mold that keeps unraveling across the dry walls terra incognita. White asterisks surf the rippled insulation. Dark whiskers congregate like old sages in the corner. This basement is a garden of spores and rot's drab blooms. Somewhere down here, I'd stashed a few tapes full of riffs I'd wanted to show you 20 years ago, before we lost touch. I'd like to find touch again. So I overturned the place, searching through boxes and fingering through the broken wings of files. When I uncovered the reels, I found I was too late. They were already flaking, the magnetic film sifting to the floor like sepia dandruff. I can't imagine they still hold any music. The score will only breathe in my memory. 2, from the older composer's point of view. Memory is an unloyal boomerang. The most accurate recollection lays safe in the warm coils of an amnesiac's brain. The rest can't help but morph each time they're retrieved. Save what you can and save it now. Each pulse is a lemming blindly stepping off a cliff. Not one of them hesitates to follow the tail of his older brother. Not one looks back to see the face of his younger. 3. Those tapes from my younger years, hearing them again is like scratching open an old wound. Still, I followed your advice and digitized the reels. But looping the riffs created a result I didn't intend. At first, the notes surfaced just as I remembered. Then, each time through its circuit, the tape shredded another note or half a note, peeling like a snake that needs to grind its old skin into the grass. The music, I'm not sure how else to say this, began to erase itself from the air. There's something dazzling about hearing your own creation devolve back into the primal hush. Something absolutely appalling about watching silence eat its way through the music like moths into old silk. 4. A 6-month-old kid crawls toward 7 months. We are all walking documentation of erosion. Your music became more real the day it started dying. Digitizing. Ha! We old composers never had such words. Those reels. It's like chronicling a dune as it's dismantled, grain by grain. Like getting intimate with the biography of a single crystal of sand as it washes out to sea. Relish it. Life is the game against entropy you've already begun to start losing. 5. The loops have started to mess with me. When I play with them, I keep thinking I'll pin down the exact moment when the music starts disappearing. But trying to catch loss in the act is like trying to lasso your breath. I'm suddenly useless, waiting for changes I'll never sense, a frog in boiling water. So I listen to the first loop and skip to the 38th. Then I can plainly hear the wearing down, hear what notes have been ground away. Those that time has spared keep on as best they can. The music falters and staggers forward. The broken melody limps and surges on. 6. Moldy lips and empty eye sockets. That's the station we're all pulling into. Don't believe me? Take a photo of yourself every morning and hang it on your wall. You'll see no change from day to day. But look in a year and you'll see the birth of a wrinkle hurtling like horizontal lightning across your cheek. Look in 20 and you'll find your face made of lightning. 40 and the storm of years will turn you into its own weather. Some days I'm only made real by touch. Mountains, sky, plates of kiwi and calabash leave me stale. Even music washes over, its intimacy distant as Timbuktu. Come visit. In the meantime, I pray to whatever drives sap into branches and blood into the tips of my toes. 7. A trip is not in the cards, but I thought you'd be interested in this. Yesterday morning, as I listened to the end of the loops where the silence outweighs the song, a hailstorm was tearing marble-sized holes through the plants on my fire escape. Ice that was lodged in the fleshier stems disappeared, so that only the hole remained. Fog uncreated the angles of the skyline. Now, as 18 stars prick the night, I think I feel the leaden measure of your loneliness. 19 stars. The palisades of clouds are dissolving. 20. I'm sending a copy of the loops your way in the hope that it can give you some company in my stead. 24. Section 8. Some company for the past few days has helped. I usually melt into the loneliness between heartbeats, but the rhythm of your loops fills the empty spaces. Thank you for your gift. Our chests make music before we know what music is, but the most mature strain is silence. They give you a rattle when you're born, so by the time you sound your last, saliva pooled at the back of your throat, you'll be consoled by habit. All those gathered around will lean in, awaiting. You'll have practiced your whole life for this. The Disintegration Loops. That is the centerpiece. There are some much more lighthearted poems in there, but check it out. Thank you for listening. This was a fun reading during COVID, and take care of yourselves out there, okay?